If you have been frustrated by manifestation because you've heard all the techniques, you've read all the books, and you've watched all the videos, and you still are missing certain pieces to unlock within your consciousness to manifest your best life, I'm going to share with you what I learned over this weekend. I had the most transformational mushroom trip. The plants really connect me to source energy. I received some amazing downloads, and I was shown certain manifestation secrets that when you unlock within your frequency and your mind, you are able to be a more conscious creator. The plants showed me why I was able to manifest certain things in my life, what I did to create certain dream reality scenarios in my life, why some things have come to me so easily and I was able to get exactly what I wanted, and why some of the things that I have seemingly worked the hardest on manifesting and they weren't coming through, what the missing piece was. And I'm going to share this with you today. Plant medicine has been extremely transformational in my life. However, you do not need to take it if you're not being called to it. I'm going to explain to you in an easy to understand way what the plants have shared with me through visions and downloads I received so that you can consciously create your life. Because we are always manifesting all the time, but the issue is we are manifesting on default. When we don't understand these manifestation secrets on a certain level, we cannot create what we want. If you're new here, I'm Alyssa, and I remind you that you are a powerful being with superpowers and remind you of who you are so that you can go on and manifest your best life. So, we all know the basics of manifesting. You decide what you want, you get in the vibrational frequency, you clear your limiting beliefs, you visualize what you want, and it's supposed to just show up, right? How come that doesn't always happen? Well, because there is one thing that is the most important thing in manifesting. The most important thing is healing. Healing your trauma, healing your childhood beliefs, but it's healing it on such a deep subconscious level that in order to manifest what you really want, you are faced with dealing with your soul contract, with the things you decided to learn about before you came here. This blew my mind over the weekend because I'm aware of soul contracts. I'm aware of certain soul contracts I have, certain soul contracts with certain people, and I'm also aware of my desires. So when we come here with specific desires. And oftentimes we are programmed to believe that our desires are not okay. That, for instance, if we have a strong desire to have a lot of money or to be famous or to have something that society may look down upon as like that shouldn't be a soul desire, if there is something within you that literally wants to be an author or wants to be a life coach or wants to have a lot of abundance, that can be a soul desire. But the reason why you're not getting it and the reason why people have made you feel bad about it is because the way you're going about it is wrong. Okay, let's back up here. So, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. We come to this earth with certain soul desires. We also come here with certain lessons that we need to learn and heal in order to unlock our soul desires and to manifest what we want from a place that's going to feel good. That is why you can come to earth and do manifestation work or do physical work in the world and seemingly manifest your desires, but they don't feel good. This is happening for one of two reasons. Either they're not really your soul desire, you were programmed by society to believe that you needed this thing, or if it was a soul desire, you're going about it the wrong way. Over the weekend, the mushrooms showed me things that I had been feeling guilty about wanting to manifest since I was a little girl, where I was questioning if these were true soul desires or if they were just society desires, and was the reasons they weren't coming in because I wasn't really meant to have them. But what the mushrooms showed me was I was trying to manifest them from the wrong place. I was trying to manifest certain things in order to prove that I was valuable. Once I was able to heal within me, which did not feel loved and valuable, I still had these desires, and the universe is saying, now that you've literally gone back in time and healed that inner child, you can manifest what you want. Because the way you're going about it is from the truth of your being now. You're coming at it from an authentic place. And the universe was not allowing me to manifest certain things in my life because I hadn't learned the lesson and I hadn't healed that part of my inner child. So I actually took notes, and I'm going to read them from where I wrote them because the energy with which there's frequency in words and there's frequency in specifically the way I wrote these down because they affected me in such a deep way. And actually, Another thing I noticed over the weekend was there was a song that I love that I have a mushroom playlist, and it's one of my favorite artists. And for some reason, it was on my playlist like 3 times, and I kept hearing the song, but he had edited it to take out the cuss words, I guess to get radio play or for some other reason. And when I was hearing the song, I realized the frequency of the song was different because some of the cuss words were out of it because the authenticity was missing there. And it really hit me in my soul. And I realized that everything has energy. Being your authentic self is going to help you manifest because of the energy behind you being authentic. If you have an authentic desire to say, be famous, you are meant to have that. But if you're coming at it from a wounded place, the universe is either not going to give it to you because it wants you to learn to heal whatever is wounded, or you're going to get it and it's not going to feel good. So I'm going to read these from the paper because the frequency which I wrote them with is going to affect you in a subconscious way, whether you're aware of it or not. Because it's like I'm timeline jumping by reading it from the paper because the energy with which was coming into me when I wrote these are infused with energy. So your soul is going to understand this on some level. This was a message for me, but it's going to pertain to you if you're watching this. Here's the message the universe has for you. Soul desires are often tied to where we most need to heal. So we think that they're not soul desires because we are trying to manifest them from an unhealed place. Once we heal, we see that they are a true desire. Then I wrote, but wait, there's more. Once you heal the reason behind why you were doing it, they can come into alignment. Some things in your life were out of alignment because the energy from which you were trying to go after them. It doesn't mean that the things you desire are out of alignment. We hear this all the time in spirituality. Get into alignment. Something doesn't feel good. It must not be in alignment for you. No, if you have a desire for it, there's some part of you that's in alignment with it. But until you heal the way you're going at it, it can't come into alignment. The energy from where you are doing something literally affects what you are doing. This breaks down to quantum physics, and I'm going to explain this with an experiment that I will break it down so it's really simple for you. Maybe you've heard of the observer effect. So there's this experiment where scientists were observing electrons. Sometimes the electrons were turning into particles, sometimes they were turning into waves. And what they ended up realizing was when they were expecting the electrons to be particles, they were. When they were expecting them to be waves, they were. That just by the very fact of these scientists observing what was going on and having like a bias in their head, that's how the electrons were affected. And this is basically saying that you literally affect everything by your observation of it. This is when I say we are so freaking powerful. Why do you think the government, the media, all these sorts of things are trying to control us and get our attention at all times? Because your attention is literally your currency. It is the most important thing you have. Because you are literally affecting the world with your energy. With when you observe something, you actually shift it on a quantum level. We are creating our reality, and just by observing something, you change it. So, going back to being in alignment with soul desires, the energy with which you are doing something is actually affecting the end result. This is why you can manifest things, but when you're manifesting something because you have a need for it, or you think it's going to make you whole, or you're coming to it from a broken, traumatic place, one of two things is going to happen. Either it's not going to manifest because the energy with which you're coming at it is, I'm not good enough. So if you're trying to get something, let's say you're trying to manifest a relationship, but you're believing, I'm not good enough to have a relationship. I'm not good enough to have a relationship. You are energetically going to try to get a relationship from that place that I'm not good enough, and people are reading your energy. They're going to feel that from you, and it's going to turn them off. So you're not going to be able to manifest a relationship, or if you do, even if you do manifest the relationship, even if you do meet your soulmate or someone falls in love with you, you're still going to feel unwhole inside because you never really healed the not feeling good enough. So this is why some things in our life feel out of alignment even when they are soul desires. And the universe was showing me these things that I've been trying to manifest in my life, and like the things I've been trying to manifest the longest, like I have manifested some incredible things in my life. And how did I do that? I did that by healing my limiting beliefs. How did I manifest my dream relationship? By healing how I felt about love. How did I manifest my dream home? By healing money beliefs. But these other areas, that I seemingly worked the most on were not seeming to change. And it was like, do I not know how to manifest? And then the universe showed me that the place that I'm coming from it with, and the way I'm going about it energetically, is that I'm not enough. I need to prove my worth. Nobody loves me, all that sad stuff. But what was beautiful is once I went back to that moment in my childhood where I decided that I was not valuable, I healed that, and I realized that whether I get these things or not, I am valuable. Now I can manifest them from an authentic place because I'm no longer needing them to make me whole. And a lot of manifestation teachers talk about this, but I really got it on a deep level. When you understand it from the point of the observer effect, and you realize that the energy from which you are doing something is literally affecting it, and that you should have all the things you desire. That's another thing that I believe. I believe that our desires are a gift from God. So when you have a desire and it's not manifesting, it's so painful because you start to believe the universe doesn't love me, manifestation doesn't work, there's something wrong with me, but that's not true. It can almost feel like the universe has forgotten about you, or it's being mean, because why would it give you a soul desire and then not give you the ability to manifest it? Well, that's not true. The desires it gave you all the powers to manifest it, but it also wants you to learn these soul lessons. So it's almost like it gives you these soul desires that you are meant to go after in this world. So I was totally in a flow and my camera just shut off, but I also feel like that was confirmation because one of my strongest senses is clairaudience. So what I was saying was, what you desire is meant for you, but the universe wraps it up so that you can also heal what you need to heal in this lifetime. So for example, it'll give you a desire to have something, and we are meant to manifest what we want. We are given all the powers to manifest our desires, but we also, before we came down here, wanted to learn certain lessons for soul growth in order to use our powers, in order to gain our powers, in order to understand how to even use our energy. And so the point is, we need to heal these certain things that we chose to experience. And once we are able to heal them, we can manifest what we want. If you want to think about it like a choose your own adventure book, which I used to love as a kid, but we're going on this soul journey where the pot of gold is somewhere and our desires are guiding us towards that pot of gold. I like to think about it like you're going on a soul journey and your desires are the pot of gold on one part of the journey. And you are given everything to take this journey, but you also need to pick up certain things in order to reach that pot of gold. So your desires are a safe compass to follow. You are meant to follow what lights you up, what you're meant to be pulled by what you most desire in life. So it's not wrong to follow your desires, but the point is there are things you're going to have to learn and heal in order to actually manifest that from a soul place. It goes back to how we chose our parents. And I also very much saw why I chose my parents, because there are certain lessons that my soul chose to learn in this life. They're tied to what I most desire. And I saw that if I had gotten certain things from my parents when I was young, that would have been enough for me and I would not have continued on this journey. That the love I was seeking or the validation I was seeking would have been good enough that I would have just stayed in Seattle, been happy doing something else. I literally was able to see a quantum timeline. The mushrooms showed me alternate timelines where I was still living in Seattle, where I'd never moved to LA to pursue my dreams, because the validation that I had been getting from my parents was enough that I never chased my dreams. That the things I was seeking as a child, I got enough for them. It's like it was good enough. It reminded me of that movie, The Adjustment Bureau, where they wouldn't let those two characters be together because they said that her love would have been enough for him. I guess he never would have pursued his greatness. I was able to see when I was 2 years old, I made a decision, and this was my decision, nothing against my parents, but things that I experienced, I decided I'm not enough, I'm not valuable. That decision literally locked in. I went back to where I was 2 years old. And I saw that if I had not made that decision, my life would be completely different. I would not have pursued my dreams on the level that I am. I would not have moved to California. I wouldn't be with my soulmate because it would have been good enough where I was. But who wants a life that's good enough? It also showed me, which a lot of spiritual people talk about, is we chose our parents for specific soul lessons. Kabbalah talks about this a lot too, that you picked certain parents that would have certain qualities so that they would treat you in a certain way or not treat you in a certain way so that you could learn specific things. It also showed me something really traumatic that happened to me when I was 13 years old. And I literally saw that these kids that it was bad. That they were actual demons, like demons inhabited their body, that they weren't actually kids, but that it was something that I needed to experience to go to such a dark place that it would in essence spark my spiritual awakening. It sparked a lot of other stuff that seemed really bad, but coming out of that, I would not be pursuing spirituality and in the depth of healing my soul that I am right now. That I literally chose to go through certain dark things in my life so that I could learn my powers. So, this is why we need to heal our trauma. Healing our trauma gets us to the place where we're actually able to receive our manifestations because we're coming to them from a whole place, but we're also learning so much about ourselves and we literally are remembering who we are. It was so powerful, and it was just showing me that like what you truly desire is meant for you in this life. We are meant to have what we desire. I think oftentimes also we want things so bad, and if they don't come in, we think it's not meant for us. Everyone wants what we want. Everyone does not want what you want. What you want, what you truly want, like what you dream about, what you want to manifest so bad, you're meant to have that. But if you're not experiencing it, it's because there's something that you need to heal. You need to do shadow work in order to unlock that level of your soul where you feel worthy whether you have the thing or not. And that used to piss me off when I would hear it from other spiritual teachers. It was like, just shut the fuck up. Like, what's that quote from Jim Carrey? I wish everyone could get rich and famous so they could realize it's not the thing that they want. Like, when you really want something and it's not coming in, it's frustrating because maybe someone else has what you want. But you are meant to have what you desire, but you are also meant to heal, and you chose certain painful experiences in your life in order to get to the other side of that, to grow as a soul. You chose these soul lessons before you came here. And I could absolutely see why I had chosen certain things that, like, I could see it now. I could see what it's done for me as a soul and as a person and who it's made me. And like I said, I saw the quantum timeline where I'm happy. It was good. It was fine. But it wasn't nearly as exciting as my life is now and not as fulfilling. And I wouldn't have really known about manifesting probably because my life would have been good enough. I would have just accepted whatever life gave to me. If you're watching this video, if you're listening to this, you are on the spiritual path and there's a deeper level of your soul that wants to learn more. Dolores Cannon, who is a spiritual teacher who put a lot of people under hypnosis, like I think thousands of people. And a lot of them said exactly the same thing. We're here to learn how to manipulate energy. And how do we learn how to manipulate energy? By learning these soul lessons, by going through certain things and learning how to observe reality and change it, how to create our own reality, how to desire something, not yet have it, and learn to manifest it in the physical form. Abraham Hicks says, words don't teach, life experience does. And I picked up an Abraham Hicks book after this mushroom trip, and let me tell you, their words hit different now. They started me on my spiritual awakening, and then I kind of felt like it was like too spiritual bypassy until I did shadow work, and now I'm like, no, what they're saying is absolutely true, but until you've healed certain things within you, you can't just feel good all the time. You can't just focus on what's good. You can't have control of your thoughts because you're living in wherever your heart was broken as a child. This is the second time on mushrooms where it's taken me back to a moment when I was 2 or younger where my heart was shattered and I had to learn something and change how I felt about that moment, because we are, in essence, kind of all acting from where we were broken as a child. Like, we're coming at life, there's usually a moment in life where something happened and we're still living from that moment. So the secret to manifesting is really seeing what it is that you want. Like, get clear on what the fuck you want, and then what do you think that thing is going to bring you, and why don't you have it? Do you not believe you're lovable? Do you not believe you're valuable? Do you not believe abundance is for you? And then just go back and to see in your childhood where you decided that. What was the moment where your heart was broken, where your parents did something, where another kid did something to you, where you made a decision about yourself as a soul and you saw yourself as not valuable, because you are absolutely valuable. Abundance is your birthright. And we are meant here. We are creators and we are meant to create heaven on earth. We're meant to have our desires. We're meant to live out our desires. But we're also meant to learn these soul lessons. We're also meant to grow. We're also meant to learn how to use these spiritual powers that we have. But we can't learn how to use them until we've been broken and fought in demons and gone on these battles. It's like in a video game where like you have to battle someone. I don't play video games, but like you have to battle something to get to the next level. You're battling a part of yourself. You're battling an identity, an old identity. You're battling a limiting belief. And people and experiences show up in our lives to show us what our limiting beliefs are, to show us what we believe about reality. That's all life is showing us. Everything that's happening in your life is a reflection of what's going on inside. Other people are just reflections. We are calling in different versions on different parallel universes of different versions of people based on what our beliefs are. Like I said, there's parallel versions where my parents acted different and I'm living in a different reality. But this version of me wanted to have this soul growth and needed this one thing to happen. And everyone did what they were supposed to do so I could get to this point. So when things are showing up in your life that are telling you you can't have what you want, those are based on limited beliefs that you actually have. And you need to go back and decide where you decided that your life was limited, where you decided that your energy was limited, where you decided that you were not deserving and worthy. Because if you desire something, desire means from the Father. It's literally a gift from God that God put in your heart and said, hey, follow what you desire. This is what your life is meant to be. The desires in your heart are your compass, what you're supposed to go after. But you're going to have to fight some things on the way to the journey. You're going to have to maybe fight some demons like I did, like literal demons. You're going to have to come up against your limiting beliefs, and you are going to have to fight them and decide that you are worthy and remember who the fuck you are, and remember that you are the light, and remember that you are a child of the universe, and remember that you desire all good things. You're meant to have what you want. Heal your trauma. Look where it is hardest to look. I'm telling you, I thought I had dealt with this moment in my life, but the mushrooms are like, no, you're going to go back to when you were 2 years old and you're going to sit in this until you decide that you're valuable and you decide that you're worthy. And then it showed me all these other experiences in my life where life had happened in a certain way because I was coming at it from the energy of I have no value, I'm not worthy. And people were just showing up in my life to reflect that to me. So what did that do? That ingrained it even more into my neural pathways that I wasn't worthy and I wasn't deserving. So that just became the energy, the frequency from which I was living on. So I was living in this frequency of I have no value. I'm not worth anything. Like I could do affirmations and feel like, oh, I'm valuable in this area of my life because I've manifested this. But my underlying energy was speaking before I entered the room. That's the other thing. Your energy introduces you before anything else does. People won't even know why they're reacting a certain way to you, but they are based on based on what you believe about yourself. People are just reacting to your beliefs subconsciously because we're all connected and we're all picking up energy and we're all able to read energy whether you're aware of it or not. Yeah, you can read it when you're like, oh, there's a bad vibe or a good vibe here, but we're picking on stuff subconsciously, and we are reacting to people in our lives based on what they believe about themselves. Your energy is telling people how to treat you. It's also telling the world what to give you because it can only give you what you believe you're worthy and deserving of. And if you get something that you don't feel you're worthy and deserving of because you got it maybe by like taking a lot of action, it's not going to feel good. And then you're going to think that your desires are not meant for you when maybe that is the thing you were meant to experience in your life, but because you came at it from a place of you're not worthy, it doesn't feel good. You don't learn this soul lesson, and then you got to come back and do it all again. I mean, we're probably going to come back anyways, but hopefully learn different soul lessons because I realized, fuck, I don't want to learn this lesson again. Let me just get it in this lifetime so I can move on, or maybe be a spirit guide next lifetime. Your trauma is not, don't feel shame about what you went through. We all went through some shit. And it is literally the thing you need to face in order to manifest your next level. It's a gift because that's the other thing I saw about the trauma. I saw what a gift it was because I would not be on this path right now. I would not be this person. I would just be okay. I wouldn't be excited about life. I wouldn't be in love with life. I wouldn't have met my soulmate. I wouldn't have moved to California. Like you see that everyone did what they were supposed to do in order for you to learn what you needed to learn. And they chose to do that before they came here. we're all love, and we made agreements with people that while it might not seem like they love us right now on this planet, maybe they loved you so much they had to put you through something in order for you to awaken to who you truly are. And I'm just reminding you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a superhero. Face your trauma and you will gain more of your gifts. You will gain more superpowers. You will become better at manifesting what you want, not what you don't want. Much love.